So Bitcoin has smashed well over $90,000. It's went to $93,000 a lot faster than a lot may have expected, myself included. But when $100,000, that is not far away. Let's look into the technicals. So not that long ago, I know, mental. I did a video and I kind of did like a mini simulation of, what if, Bitcoin does similar results to 2023? It would make it over $100,000. And I thought at the time of me doing it, I thought, I'm a bit mental, me. Thought, what? And turns out I'm not too far away. It's only mid-November. It's one of those, right? And as much as I like to blow my own horn sometimes, I'm wrong sometimes, I'm right sometimes, but the writing was on the wall for a while. If you've been watching my content and other people talking about, well, actually, it's kind of all written in the stars. We just had to get rid of the technical kind of political bollocks that was kind of being a bit of a pain, which was FOMC, which was obviously the election. And the trigger, the catalyst, the other day was CPI. Absolute boggling. But as I've alluded to before in previous videos, we are kind of on that kind of threshold of, oh my God, here we go, it's a bit mental. And it feels like it's too good to be true. And I know this is going to sound like, oh God, you're such a fucking killjoy. And yes, I do apologize for my Max Payne kind of video the other day about altcoins, but so far it's happening. The reality is here, we are really doing well. So as much as I love to like promote my Patreon and talk about like, well, look, you can save some money on Patreon, which feel free if you want to jump in. It's 1 month discount, 50% off. I highly recommend it. But what's kind of scaring me in that chat is people are talking about tax. Guys, it's not time to take profit. We're just at the start of the run, right? Let's just enjoy it. Fuck me. You've got to be positioned in a place where you're going to have to be rewarded at some point. And yes, for some people, if you bought at like $1,000 Bitcoin like myself and below that, fair play. But some people are like really getting a bit twitchy, and that is a really interesting dynamic, and we'll probably talk about it in other videos. But let's have a little look at what is actually happening across the board now. As much as I love this indicator, a lot of people think it's a bit wishy-washy, but for me, it just cements that people are taking interest in the Bitcoin market. It's really going high. And I've talked about obviously alt seasons before. We're nowhere near, boys and girls. We're not. And I know it's like for some people, like, but for fuck's sake, we have to have that altcoin kind of push first before we get to it. And we'll look at the technicals, and I think it's important to know, but there's nothing here that really looks like it's going to change anytime soon, because you need a lot of these kind of tokens here to do better than Bitcoin, right? And we've got a few. Obviously Dogecoin, Sui's doing really well, Pepe's doing really well, Dog with Hat Bonk. They're all kind of meme coins, let's be honest, right? Most of them here are meme coins. You got obviously Dogecoin, you got Pepe, that. There's 6 of them as meme coins, right? That just kind of shows you where the market is right now. So try not to be too overawed. In terms of new things happening, by the way, video sponsor, my own company. There's 70% off annual plans if you're interested, right? They are very, very cheap. They are very, very low in price. If you want to jump in, you can. We're doing live courses soon, and one of the new features for this will be discounted live courses, and the live courses will be recurring. They will be investing, technical analysis, psychology, but we'll also have bespoke ones, so cryptocurrency tax, for example. Maybe Bitcoin runes, for example, right? Maybe a bit more about Bitcoin dominance, as full-on live courses by myself, Gaz, or any of the other members of staff. That's that plug out the way. Anyways, let's talk about the markets, right? Instead of looking at the traditional markets like it was before, the ICP markets, all of a sudden, it looks a bit wild. And yeah, you're right. But the question is, why has this happened? And question number 2 is, where we're going to go next, right? I know you're all wondering that sort of question. So why did this happen? Well, the first situation is obviously one, cycle narrative. The cycle narrative, we're in the 3-year cycle. We are kind of at that 3rd year point. So it's a 4-year cycle at year 3, if that makes sense. And that's usually where the mania is. We've had multiple tests of these highs. That's 5 tests, 6 tests. That kind of makes a big difference. Now, start of the year, We had a very, very, very aggressive run to the upside and we broke its all-time high, but it failed. And it failed a number of times to get beyond the new all-time high that was created. And that was kind of giving us thought of a left translated cycle within the cycle, right? Which is like, whoa. But the reality is we kind of went away from that and now we're going to the upside. Now for me, a lot of people, in my opinion, would have been trying to short the shit out of this at every single opportunity because everyone's like, oh, we're not going to go beyond all-time high, we suppress all that kind of stuff. And we had a change of character in September. And people were like, I started doing a lot more bullish videos talking about BlackRock are buying, we're going to go higher. This is the road to $83,000. I was talking about, guys, we've changed character. Look at the bigger picture. We are starting to trend up towards all-time high. Did I think we're going to blast through it like this? No. Did I think we were going to trickle towards $80,000? Yeah. But it didn't. Boom. So when you get a lot of liquidity up here trying to short the shit out of it, once it kind of blows through that, you're going to get a thing called a short squeeze, where literally all the shorts have just been liquidated. It's going to create that cascading effect of stop losses, and then liquidity is just going to go bye, and then everything's just going to go boom. And what we're getting now, we'll probably get the same situation going the other way around. The other way around will be everyone, late longs, will be getting punished, in my opinion, very soon. I don't know when we're going to get there, but the thing that I'm going to say against my own opinion is when Bitcoin runs, it really runs. And when we look at like the weekly and the monthly time frame, so we've had it in the past before, right? So look at this in like October 2023. Well, how many weeks is that? Like 7 weeks of absolute berserkness. And I know people are like, well, it doesn't really matter realistically from the low to the high of here. That's a 70-80% move, right? Pretty big, realistically. And an 84-day period where no real correction happened, right? We're currently on candle number 3 of this situation, and they are big, beautiful, big, juicy, horrible candles. And even if you're going to go from this point here to there, we're done basically a 38% move. The reality is here, we're going to see a correction at some point, but I don't know when. And that's in the hands of the market and the psychology. People will take profit. There will be distribution. And again, as I've alluded to it, there will be late longs jumping on this with high leverage because they think it's gone to easy mode, and then all of a sudden the market will give you your due diligence back into your face and it will slap you very, very hard. Basically, do your research, always buy at appropriate levels, and don't just think it's on easy mode all the time because people will just go, well, bye. And that's how the markets work, and it is pretty brutal. So late longs will always get punished and late shorts will always get punished too. This is why we see aggressive moves in Bitcoin and other altcoin assets. However, where are we? Well, weekly time frame, 71 on the RSI levels. It could go so much higher. And that's the thing, where we're looking at these levels up here from where we were at the top of like roughly $75,000 in March time, 85, 86 levels. So there's still a bit of upside potential there. So be mindful. Will we pull back? Don't know when, as I say. $100,000 looks like a really juicy, big level. And I've said it before many, many times. And if you want to jump in and look at these sort of levels, so if you go from this previous high, which is here, all the way to the market low, which is down here, I'll remove that, you can see where we are in the landscape. These levels here, between 150,000 and 209,000 roughly, I will be personally looking to scale out a little bit of my profits and see where we go. Obviously, we need to get there. Stuff like that is always a big factor. But I'm hoping, and this is the thing, I know I'm rambling a little bit here, alt season, you're probably wondering, I know you're asking me in the comment section, when alt season going to go? I'm getting absolutely battered, and feel free if you want to talk about alt seasons, do so, and I want you to tell me which altcoin do you think will do the best. I've already said mine on my Twitter account, what I think will do the best. If you want to follow me, but the reality is here, we need Bitcoin to relax, not go up, not go down. When it goes down, you're going to feel the pain of the altcoins, like the other day when it went down to $83,000 or $86,000, in that little correction that we had. The reality is it needs to go sideways. So what we need to see is something like this, where this happens, right? So if I zoom into this level here, so remember, back at the start of the year, we had that altcoin push. And everything was running and we were going, fuck, we're going up to 44. And then we had this period here. This is when the altcoins did really well. Not all of them. Some of them didn't do too good, but some of them did fantastically well, and they did well. What we need to see here is that carbon copy. Then we'll see altcoins move. That then lends us to where can we go next? Well, it depends when this is going to stop. This still hasn't stopped yet, right? So we need to be mindful. Bitcoin dominance, though, I think will go a lot higher. Not by crazy amounts. I think we're going to see a couple more percentages added to this. I think at least 63 to 66% is a genuine opportunity. The only reason being is because I think Bitcoin isn't done yet. I think Bitcoin will go higher. Once it gets above 100K, I think it's going to change a lot of things. It's going to, everyone's opinion will go, oh my God, that's mad. I want to buy Bitcoin. People are odd. So that, stuff like that is going to be really, really important to know. So for me, we're probably going to see that altcoin capitulation where we're going to see this go fucking high and then sink, hopefully. So what we're waiting for, and as Ben Cohen and other creators have said, the slow bleed is obviously Bitcoin season, obviously. It's the aggressive drop to the downside, which is the alt season. And we did, realistically, right? And you know when I was talking about that like little level there on Bitcoin where it was like, oh, we're going to go sideways. That was it. It wasn't really much of an alt season in terms of traditional speaks, but when you look at the total 3/BTC and the others.d and stuff like that, there was a little bit of a up to the upside, but it was only certain things, and obviously meme coins did certain things as well. So that was that period. But reality was, you know, we did actually go from 54% down to 50%. 4% is quite a lot. What if it drops by, I don't know, let's just put a number out there. What if it drops by 20% very aggressively once it hits its number? That could be pretty mental, right? So be mindful of that. But yeah, other than that, things are looking tickety-boo. And altcoins, yeah, it's not great. And I think I do apologize, but I think I scared you all. If you want to kind of get this point in your head as well, and a really good tip is look at the screen and look at how green it is and how beautifully bullish it is. Go onto CoinGecko and change the currency to BTC. You are going to notice, where's Bitcoin gone, that everything goes a little bit more red, other than Dogecoin, other than XRP, funny enough. But what we're seeing is the best fucking peanut. Rest in peace. Baffling. Obviously, you can see here what has been doing fantastically well versus Bitcoin. Most of them, as I've alluded to before in that previous screen not too long ago, are altcoins that are meme coins. And most are not even doing that well. Let's be honest here. And if we look at some of the worst performing assets down at the lows here, it's really, really quite weird to see that, you know, obviously Lido, Monero, Aave, Uniswap, like big assets are just really getting eaten alive by the likes of Bitcoin. Even these stable currencies are getting absolutely tortured by it. So yeah, not looking good. Another thing, before I go, I have created the link below a Telegram group, basically to stop the scammers. Last cycle I didn't have one, and there was a lot of fake ones going around, and I thought, I better nip this in the bud. So I've created that. Feel free for to join it. All it's going to be is my ramblings, my thoughts, my opinions, my content, all put in one place. Instead of me being on X and stuff like that, where there's a lot of knobheads, it'll just make things a bit more concise. So if you want to keep up to date, jump in there. Anyways, I'm done. Not a lot really to add. I think 100K is literally around the corner. We've still got December to go, Santa Rally potentially, bullish market. So we've got a lot of other factors to come at play in terms of obviously data to come out, which is actually looking all right. And more to the point, time in the cycle will be very, very important. If this is the mania stage, we've got 6 to 9 months of absolutely craziness. Step one, we need Bitcoin to stay still. Then the altcoins will run. But yeah, pick your altcoins wisely.